Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Leilu nishmas imi mirosi ruspas Mordechai. You heard that, Noam? Why are you laughing? You weren't here yesterday.
He said it 2 days ago.
Yeah, but okay. Was it?
2 days
Oh, you're right. You're right. He's listening. Dear Reb Eli, I cannot thank you and the MDY family enough for the spiritual revolution you have helped inspire in Cape Town, South Africa. Let me explain. He runs the Torah High School and Baruch Hashem, grown over the years, summer vacation, December, due to Omicron, the camps were canceled. I realized the Maseches Megillah started a few days after school finished. The kids, you got some kids to sign up. And what happened was, he pushed the kids and the parents, and there was the most incredible response. Shlomi sent us 4 boxes of Gemaras. The incredible Shlomi Rosenberg. And we got over 50 people across the city to sign up. In Cape Town, Torah High, 15 students from grade 7 to 12 joined with 10 parents and 5 teachers. For many of the boys and parents, this was the first time they ever learned Gemara, let alone made a siyum. We had a beautiful siyum breakfast when they came back to school, celebrating the achievement. Many other boys and fathers are carrying on with Moed Katan. Unbelievable! Reb Eli, you and MDY donors have helped spark a spiritual renaissance in Cape Town and in our school. Please carry on what you're doing and keep sending us Gemaras. I listen to you share on my daily commute. You never felt inspired, make me laugh. We look forward to welcoming you to Cape Town one day. This is, if we're talking about Cape Town, so Leon Welcher from South Africa, he sponsored $10,000 worth of Gemara, so thank him. Until then, keep spreading Torah until the coming Moshiach. See the attached video and photos. Rabbi Avi Shlomo, Cape Town, Torah High. Here's a picture of him making the siyum, Rabbi Shlomo. Rabbi Sai, we have a merch in the house. It's ready on our site. Let me see what we have. I didn't see any of this stuff yet. Merkaz Daf Yomi, this is on the site. Geshmak, it's Geshmak to do the Daf. What is it? This is a bomb. What is it? This is a coffee mug. What do you mean, what is this? Something like that. You drink from it. It's Geshmak to do. What is this? This is a photo frame, picture frame. What is this? Anybody else have Geshmak and Kashas?
It's a picture frame for your car.
Oh, car freshener, MDY style. No, you cannot get any. This is, it's Geshmak to do the Daf.
It's a Moshiach flag.
This is, no, it's a soccer, it's a football thing. When you go to a game here in Israel, you gotta, huh? Yeah, it's, right, it clips on the car. That's what I said, when you go to a game. What else do we have? Of course, the MDY cufflinks. Ari would want one of those. Keep on going. It's Geshmak to do that keychain. And it keeps getting better.
You have to put in the hot water.
You put this in the hot water to figure out what it is. Put hot water in this, somebody. Rabbi, say, help me out. No one in MDY does this, but if you do drink MDY style. What is this? Anybody? That's it? Okay, and many more items to come. Givaldic, Rabbi on Mammoth, skiing with the night. Shkoyach Shlomo ran. Oh, here it is. It's hot. It's starting to change colors. Live, unreal. Wow, look at that. Climb up the unreal. Shlomo ran. F294, whatever. What number is he? 94. I don't remember. 205. Ran 205. If you have good ideas or you want, go check it out. MDY merch, I think it is, right? MDYmerch.com. Eventually, it's going to be part of our website. I'm in Mammoth skiing with the family for Yeshiva break. Had to take you with me, of course. Quick shout out to Yitzi Buzz Cats from Los Angeles. Not only has the best smelling, but has turned me like he has done onto your share, and I am hooked. Wishing you only the best. It says breath over there in case you want to know. Michael Bernstein, here he is. Unreal. Oh, we have another one. I wanted to go to the sponsors, but we have another one over here. So let me just jump. There's another skier somewhere. This guy is from Maui. Michael Mandelstam. 12 hours behind, learn in person, forgive me, my t-shirt shorts. I love doing the daf right when I get back from a good jog. We had a minion 10 in Maui. He's thinking about putting an MDY stamp, but was nervous he would lose the minion. It wasn't worth the risk. Here he is, right after the jog, early in the morning, way to do it. And then we have, what better place to catch up, the long day on the ski lift in Killington Peak, another skier. I guess it's skiing season now. We're here staggering away. We'll have to catch up to skiing one day. The coil sponsor is Mr. Anonymous. We want to daven for Sarah Bela Bas Roiza Refuah shleima. Maseches Moed Katan is dedicated by the Kessler and Davis families. Refuah shleima for Miriam Esther Bas Devora bekorov. Michael and Jayme Benmeleh, memory of Devora Faige Bas Shmuel, and Menachem Mendel ben Elchanan. May the neshamas have an Aliyah. And Eli neshamas Reb Shalom Baruch Yudah Zechron Levracha ben Rav Yosef Yechiel Michal Shlita Reb Yidi Leibowitz by the MDY Family. Somebody asked where they could donate money to the family, so maybe Yosef will put up, if there's a page. I think there was a page before he was nifter. I'm sure that page is still there. Yeah, put it up on the website. He's, I think, the first person that I know of from MDY, a young person that was nifter like that, and he helped us a lot with the graphics. He was a great guy. He's Mamash Oiv Yisrael, and never said, every time we asked him for anything, immediately, no problem. I'll do it. It was a tremendous loss for MDY and for Klal Yisrael. We are holding 9 lines from the beginning of the next parak, the final parak in the Masechta. Meisvei. So we are Daf Yomi Amud Beis. We're holding it in Masechtas Moed Katan. We had a machlokes what the word chilka is. Is chilka? Eli Friedman's here from Lawrence. Shalom Aleichem Reb Eli. How you doing? By the way, this is for all the new guys. This is a great seat, but it's dangerous because if you move in, you get into the screen, and then Gary could jump out from there and run over to you and shake you up in the middle of shir. So just be careful. Chilka, is it a piece of wheat that you chop into one, or is it spelt? Meisvei. Hanoider min adagon. So that was the machlokes. If a person says, I'm not gonna eat any dagon. So we have 5 grains. I'm not going to eat grain. Asur af bepoil hamitzri yavesh. Even an Egyptian bean. Now, what does a bean have to do with dagon? It doesn't. But it does to the point where that's what people call it. And when it comes to nedarim, Be'ezer Hashem will get to nedarim, but nedarim, when a person makes a vow, it goes by what people say, what their lashon is, not what the Torah's lashon is. And people call this Egyptian bean, they call it a grain. It's also biyavish, mutabelach, and if it's moist, you're allowed to. You're allowed rice, bechilka, betargis, betizgin. Now, these are the things we had yesterday. It's wheat, bechilka. Now, what's chilka? Is chilka wheat that's chopped into 2, or is wheat spelled? If it's a type of wheat, it's just a different way of grinding it. Shapir, the nafkil mutar is dagan. If you made a neder, you're not going to eat dagan, it's not dagan anymore. It's not grain. Grain, for whatever reason, in the time of the Gemara, they called grain literally taking a kernel of a grain and eating it, chewing it. Once it's chopped up, flour is not grain. Flour is a byproduct of grain, and it's mutter. So maybe you're allowed to eat it. But if it's spelled dagam aliyah, why are you allowed to eat it? If chilka is kunta, which is spelled, it should be also for the neider to eat. Kashya, it's a great question. Ravuna sharlu lahanu krufiyasa lemeza lezabuni kerchayu beshuka. There were people that were selling spices, and he allowed them to sell these spices normally without making any shinui, without any bitsina. Go ahead and sell it in the market. An chalamai. Eisvi Rav Kahana chanus psucha l'stav. If you have a store that's kind of hidden, it's open to the alleyway in the back where the benches are. So you're permitted to leave your store open normally because that itself is the tzina. But if it's on the main thoroughfare, you have to show some sort of heker. There's a front, there's a back. So you leave one door. Let's say you have 2 doors. You leave one door closed. People try to use it. Oh, that's because it's chalamayit. I can't get in. It's something different. That's its tzina. So the last day of Yantif, meaning Shmini Atzeres, Chag is Yantif. last day of Sukkot, you take everything out, and you show that it's a beautiful yantiv, and you just take out all the watermelons, everything. So the Gemara says, it seems like you could use, even though you're a store and you're open to Rosh Hashanah, you're allowed to do this for one specific reason, for the coveted yantiv. It's a beautiful thing for yantiv to show everybody's shopping, there's a lot of stuff. But just in the middle of Chol Hamoed, no. So why did Rav Huna say that you're allowed to sell spices any way you want? Says the Gemara Lo Kashya, ha beperi, ha betavlin. There's a difference. Fruit that you typically buy in a large quantity and it lasts for a long time, that's a problem. Ha betavlin, he allowed tavlin. Rashi over here says, what's tavlin? Tavlin spoils. I didn't understand really. Then you see in Rashi, tavlin spoils because he calls tavlin cabbage, leek, fresh spices. So fresh spices, they don't have a long shelf life. And Menmeleh, everybody understands, you're buying it now for Yantiv. So again, it depends not so much on the quantity, but on the type of food you have. If you're buying a type of food that usually doesn't last that much, let's say you're buying bread. How long does bread last? 2-3 days, whatever. So let's say you buy 100 breads. It's not such a problem because people see that you're buying an item that doesn't last so long. You can buy 100 leeks, but leeks don't last long, says Rashi. Leeks, cabbage. But if you're buying apples, you're buying wheat, peri, whatever peri is, people will think that you're buying it for the long term. That's the problem. Hadran alach, mishahafach, hadran alach, mishahafach. And now Rabbi Isai, this is the final parak of the Masechta. This parak, in fact, people learn it on Tisha B'Av. It's a parak that deals with Avelos. Now, obviously, I'm going to say right here, if you're listening to this shir, do not listen to the shir on Tisha B'Av. We're having way too much fun to be learning this on Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av, you learn it without any Rishayim, without anything, just go through like that. The parak is going to be discussing Avelos, haircuts, Nidui and Shamta, those sort of things, even writing on Chol Hamoed, those things. All right. Just to make sure that nobody learns this on Tisha B'Av, there was I already said this joke, I'm going to say it a little different. There was a guy that was on his deathbed, mamish dying, and all of a sudden, he smells chocolate chip cookies. How can you resist the chocolate chip cookie? So he gets out of bed, just barely, and he literally, on all four, he crawls, gets to the kitchen, and he lifts his hand up onto the table, and he grabs the chocolate chip cookie, and as he's grabbing it, he gets a whack on the hand. His wife says, "Don't touch, those are for after the funeral." I said it about kugel, but it's the same. Now, you cannot watch this on Tisha B'Av. These are the people that can shave on Chol Hamoed. Haba mimedinas hayom. Somebody who comes, he's a shaygig. He just showed up off the boat, and he couldn't shave, take a haircut before Yantiv. Beis hashivya, and he was just redeemed. He was captured. They let him out. He's in South Africa. I hear in South Africa every Sheni V'Chamisha used to be at least. Or in Mexico, they just grab people off the street, ransom. Okay, they let him out. He couldn't take a haircut. We're going to see in the Gemara the whole reason why you can't take a haircut on. You should be able to take a haircut on Chol Hamoed. The reason you can't, we don't want people to push it off and come into Yantiv Minuvel. I'm not lying. 2 emails to my private email. 2 emails from 2 people that said, we remember there was a Magid, they were talking about me, that Erev Pesach this year, and I don't want to think about it really. I get this anxiety when I think about it. I had to give 3 shiurim in Maseches Shkalim, which was very difficult. Erev Pesach. So what happened was I pushed off my haircut, like I did buying my lulav and esrog in Erev Sukkos, and I went into the Seder all disheveled. I didn't shave. I didn't have a haircut. I don't even know if I took a shower. I don't know. It's just 3 shiurim in 14 hours. So that the guys in Israel would have a shiur on the first day of Yantiv, which we didn't have. I had to do it all, and it was a hard Masechta. So they asked me, both of them asked me, what about that Magid? Could he take a haircut? Is he like a guy that's b'shivya? We're going to see in the Gemara, part of the problem is that people don't know, why are you taking a haircut? Who are you? If you come off a plane, everybody knows. On the other hand, maybe a Maggid Shir, people know that he was giving shir. I don't know. Fine. Not passing, just, it was an interesting question, or it was a shtach, more of a shtach than a question. Or a person that comes out of jail. Vamenuda, we're going to see, the Gemara, I thought it was very, very cool. The Gemara calls a baby coming out of a mother's stomach, you don't have someone in the world that's more in a jail than that child. It's the biggest jail you could ever imagine. Stuck there for 9 months, can't move. Comes out, give the baby a haircut if he needs. Not kidding. You'll see the Gemara. Person who did something wrong and Chacham said, you're nidui, excommunicated. Last minute, he couldn't get to the barber in time. Person has a neder, he's not going to shave, like a Nazirus. I'm not going to shave. And then he says, listen, I didn't realize X, Y, Z. And the Chacham says, okay, go ahead and take a haircut. He's mutter, permitted on Chalamayid. Nazir, and a person who's a Nazir says, I'm going to refrain from wine and a haircut. And his 30th day falls out on Chalamayid. And a person has an affliction on his hand, on his body, and he's tar, mitumasoi, l'tarasa, he goes from tumah to taira, and he needs, part of the mitzayra's process is to shave the hair, put it under the kettle. It happened on Chalamayid. And these are those who could launder their clothing on Yontif. Same exact thing, we're going to just do repeat. Somebody comes from out of the country and comes out of captivity and from jail. And he said a vow, he's not going to wash his clothing. Here's the extra. Towels. Now imagine in those days a towel costs $400. What does a towel cost? A guy has to sit there and go like this, like that. It's not, you don't just go to Amazing Savings and buy a towel for $2. It doesn't work like that. I don't think they had a closet full of towels. They had one towel, the whole family. Everybody washed their face with it. You have to clean it. So our girsa is, you know, that rag that the barber puts around you. They had one of those also. Why exactly does he need it during Chalamayid? I'm a little troubled by that. Maybe for all the people that are coming off the plane and all the people coming out of jail, maybe there's a whole bunch of them, and you have to wash off this clothing. Again, some sort of towel, a bath towel, whatever. Their clothing has all this dirt, different things coming out, and different. They have to wash their clothing. What? Oh yeah, okay, good. I didn't see it. What does he say?
No, somebody else says.
Yeah. They're saying like not book covers so much, like a Sefer Torah cover.
Yeah, Sfarim covers.
Yeah. That's probably why you're right. That's why they say it's a Sfarim cover. Okay. But I think the regular gear is Saparim, Harelu, Mutarim, Sharkol, Odom, Asurim, all other people cannot shave, take a haircut, launder the clothing. Usharkol Odom, my time says the Gemara, why not? My time is this not. We learned. Anchi Mishmar, Anchi Mamad, right? We know what Anchi Mishmar and Anchi Mamad are, but the new guys maybe don't. The Koyanim are divided into 24 groups. Their families are 24 groups. Every week, another group. Corresponding to that, the Yisraelim, 24 groups, they represent Klal Yisrael, because every morning and afternoon, we bring a carbon tamid. It says that all Klal Yisrael has to be there. They represent Klal Yisrael. Some of them are in the Beis HaMikdash, davening, saying Tehillim, this, that. Some of them are scattered around Eretz Yisrael, doing their thing over there, fasting, davening, the whole thing. The Anshi Maimed, all these, the Mishmar, the Kohanim, the Anshi Maimed, Asurim l'sabel l'chaves. They cannot get haircuts while they are on duty. That week they cannot get a haircut. But Erev Shabbos they're permitted. My time. The reason is we want them to come in, like mentioned. Nice clothing. Now, yes, they're going to wear the special clothing of the Kayin, and we're going to take it out of our Kayin closet and give them clothing. But don't walk into the Beis HaMikdash with your raggedy clothes, with your paint-filled shirt. Come in like a mensch. Same thing is, we want everybody to get a haircut. Erev Yom Tov, everybody comes into shul. Nobody comes in like the Magachir guy, and then on Chalmai start thinking about who your barber is. Question: what if a person had to look for something that was lost? He lost his keys. He's looking everywhere. He spent his time instead of getting a haircut. He had a good reason why he couldn't get a haircut. Like myself, I was kind of an aynas. I did it for Klal Yisrael. I did it for those who watch the shir. I couldn't let them not have a shir, so I'm going to suffer. Yeah, you know the story with my esrog. I think it's an unbelievable story. I did not get esrog. It's my fault. I pushed it off to the last day. I said I'm going to go after the final shir. I gave 2 shirim, one after another, back to back on Erev Sukkos. I go to the store to get an esrog. 0. The woman she was in charge of the store, she doesn't have a single esrog. But I have a lulav, she tells me. You want a lulav? She gives me a dairy lulav, perfect closed lulav, nothing. I said, let me just get the lulav, let me get the adas and the ravas. No esrog. As I'm leaving, Ma'isa Shahaya, leaving, a guy comes in and goes, I want to return this esrog. The lady says, you want it? I said, yeah, I didn't even look at it. How much? $40. The nicest esrog I ever had in my life. Not a single speck, nothing. A beautiful, beautiful esrog. Not a joke. Why that person returned that esrog, I have no clue. For $40. Maybe it's not the nicest esrog. I probably had a nicer one once upon a time. But it was the nicest $40 esrog I ever had. But I kept on pushing it off. My fault. Not that guy. That guy esrog is perfect. Even the honest mutter. So he's honest. Maybe nobody knows why. Nobody knows he lost his keys. So we had the sugim psachim. Chacham said you cannot make designs on your matzah. Comes Baitus and says, I have a way to do it. Why? Because it takes a long time to make a design on a matzah. Imagine you sitting here and doing all this. It's going to be more than 18 minutes. It's going to become chametz. Says Baitus to Chachamim, I have a stamp. Look, I have this guy. If you look closely over here, it's the design. This is how they do like today. I know for my wife, on the sourdough, little stamp, and then when it grows in the oven, it looks like that. I have a great trick. It takes a millisecond. Poof. Say Chacham, no, you cannot do it because loy plug. Basically the idea of loy plug. Says the Gemara, okay. So if no one can get a haircut, you can't get a haircut. Either people are going to say, Yoimu, nobody's going to know. They're going to say, Baitus sat there with a knife and designed it. Yoimu calls, you're going to assume, so you can buy this mutarim? They're going to ask a question. Why is Baitus mutar? How is it possible that you made a distinction between somebody that has no clothing, somebody that has mamish doesn't have any clothing? Exactly what he had and what he didn't have. He had 2, 1, taisis. Okay. Bottom line is, if he doesn't have clothing, he's permitted to wash his clothing. Why is he permitted? Why do you make an exception to the rule? Says Gemara, something like this, Rabbi Isai. He has a belt. Now, if he's going to remove this upper garment and wash it, his under robe is going to fly open. He's going to get embarrassed. So he's going to take his belt. Let's say he has like a belt that we have for a raincoat, like a gartel. He's going to take his belt that usually goes above this top one, and he's going to use his belt on his pajama robe. When people see a belt on a pajama robe, they realize, oh, this guy has no clothing. Otherwise, he would wear a nice robe on top. He'd take another blue guy from his closet and wear that and put the belt on the blue. But because it's on the light blue, people realize something's weird. He obviously doesn't have enough clothing. That's why he came to the river to wash his clothing with his pajamas. Who washes clothes in PJs? This guy. How do you know it's PJs? Because he's wearing it. He's wearing his belt on the wrong garment, and that's Moshiach alav. Ravashi masni boy Reb Zera. Uman shavdel aveder v'regel ma'u. So Ravashi says, Reb Zera had a question. Uman. So Rashi says, like a barber, a professional like a barber. People are knocking on the door, trying to get haircuts Erev Yontif. Nobody's home. They find out his keys got lost. Yeah, he doesn't know. He's looking everywhere. Everybody knows, the whole city's talking about it. I didn't get a haircut. Why? You go to so-and-so. He's looking for his keys. So everybody knows. So Mela, he should be able to get a haircut. Fine. Maybe it's not the biggest. No, he didn't come from a different country. He didn't get out of jail. When somebody gets out of jail, everybody talks about it. You heard so-and-so, he's a bad guy. You heard what he did. He's in jail. People like talking about that stuff. So Mela, it doesn't have such a rumor. Teiku. Memedinas hayam masnisin deloik Reb Yehuda. So it says, if a person came from Medinas Hayam, you get a haircut. The sign Reb Eli Medinas Hayam lo yigalech mneshiyotzo shalei b'rshus. So Rashi learns, a person that goes to Medinas Hayam, he didn't have permission. Not that he didn't have permission. He went on his own will. It's nothing to do with the permission. It has to do with why did he go? He went on his own will. The Ravid learns, we're talking about Eretz Yisrael and Chutz La'aretz, he had no permission to leave Eretz Yisrael. But most don't learn like him. They learn that Rashi says, he went on his own will. Nobody told him to leave. Nobody told you to leave. So don't come back and say, I didn't get a haircut. Okay, so very, very simple. Here, if a guy goes on vacation, sightseeing, everybody agrees red, asur. If a guy left the country because he has nothing to put on the table, everybody agrees green, mutter. We're going to have a question, what about if a guy is a multimillionaire and he leaves the country to be a gazillionaire? He wants to add to his portfolio. Basically everybody today. No, we're not millionaires and going to be gazillionaires, but we have enough. We have bread and water. We have this. You need 2 cars? You need a 5,000 square foot home? No, I mean, we have what we need. So why are we going out?
Nobody here has a 5,000 square foot home. Don't worry about it.
No?
No.
Don't say no one.
5,000 square foot home.
No one?
Yeah. Okay, right, so go on.
You mean besides me? Are you making fun of me? There's people here that have Camrys, Nachman. Camrys. I'll never forget that one. Okay. Crazy cars they have here. Unbelievable. Driving these fancy 2002 Camry V6. Unbelievable. Okay, so whatever. People have cars, Corollas. What do you need a Corolla for? Use a horse, go on a bus. So you're going to America to make money because you want to make a chasana for 400 people. Who told you 400 people is the chasana? Maybe 10 people. I'm just saying. But this is probably harvacha. There are people, don't get me wrong, in this community, and you can ask Yisrael Simon, who's here. There's hundreds of people that don't have bread to put on the table in this community. I get it. There are people like that. So those people in Chanami, what?
Even if you're going for Parnasa, why do you have to come back on the last day? Come back a week before you have to. Why does that get you off the hook?
No, because you had the right to leave. That they gave you rishus to leave. So now when you come back, it's a nafkiritin going with asking permission or not asking permission. Chacham told you leave, go. It's not about Eretz Yisrael, not Israel. You went not for your own leisure. I hear what you're saying, but it's a good excuse. You have a very good excuse. You couldn't come back. That's why you couldn't come back. That's when the flights weren't the cheap ones. Says the Gemara, Reb Yehuda Haba Medinas Hayam lo yigalech mneshiyotzo shalei b'rshus. Or Rav Elasher divrei hakol asur. L'mezaynos divrei hakol muter. L'nechleku elo la'arveicha. If you want to make a little extra, Mar medam lo kilashut, umar medam elei kil mezaynos. The machlokes is the blue like the red, or is the blue like the green? Meisvei Amar Rebbe Nirm divrei Reb Yehuda. Oh, so now we have a question. Rebbe says, I like Reb Yehuda. This, going on vacation, is like Rebbe Yehuda. I'm going to go with Rebbe Yehuda, says Rebbe. This right over here, I go like Chachamim. He had permission to leave the country. We encourage him to leave, go get Parnasa. They make sense. Okay, I pass him like Rebbe Yehuda over here, like Chacham over here. Says the Gemara, my shalei b'rshus. What does it mean, shalei b'rshus? If it means that he's going on vacation, so it can't be b'rshus. What does b'rshus mean? Shalei b'rshus. Does it mean this? No, he said everybody agrees. This, everybody agrees. So what does shalei b'rshus mean? Elab Shita Larvacha. So you have to say that Shaloi B'Shus means this case in the middle. Okay, Ema Seifa. But we have a big problem. Because then it's the reverse of what Rebbe says. That what? I agree, Shaloi B'Shus, like Rabbi Yehuda. This is Asr. Larvacha is red. We just proved that blue is like red. That's what he says. When it's Shaloi B'Shus, and Shaloi B'Shus can't mean this, it has to mean this. I agree that it's Asr. But then, Ema Seifa. If that's the case, my B'Shus. Oh, I agree to Chachamim in Rishus. My B'Shus, do the same thing all over again. It can't be Chachamim. It's everybody. Everybody agrees to green. You have to say blue. And I agree in blue to Chachamim now. In the Sefer he says, I agree to Chachamim. That it's green, that it's mutter. But a second ago he said, I agree to blue, the blue is red. Now you say blue is green. What's going on here? Says Gemara, so the Gemara, let's just say that. The question wasn't what blue is. Is blue like red or blue like green? The Gemara is saying, no. He didn't get involved in blue. He was just saying, I'm explaining the Chachamim agree to Rabbi Yehuda in this case, and Rabbi Yehuda agreed to Chachamim in this case. That's it. He wasn't talking about blue. He's talking about red and green. Each one agrees to the other one in a different case. Rabbi Yehuda will agree to, Rabbanon will agree to Rabbi Yehuda when he left for no reason, just to look at the Alps. And he comes back, I need a haircut. Yishkoyach, you should have got a haircut on the Alps. That means over here. Chacham agreed to this case. Where's the whole machlokes? Down here. Rebbe doesn't say what his opinion is. He's not saying what I agree in Arvacha. There is a machlokes in Arvacha. Just Yishano says Rebbe, everybody agrees in the red. And Rabbi Yehuda agrees to Rabbanan in the green case. When a person never has to leave the country for Parnasa. And the whole machlokes is in blue, but Rebbe didn't get involved in that. This is a real picture of a baby that was born with a tremendous amount of hair, won the award. Okay. There is such a metzius as a lot of hair. My kids were basically born bald. I think a lot of Ashkenazi kids are born bald. But there's such a thing. Now,
I was born bald.
You are. You still are. What's the difference?
Prove it. No, he has a chip on his shoulder. You get over it. He has a chip on his shoulder. He keeps on bringing it up. If he's born on Chalamayid, give him a shtickle haircut. Oh, what about the Chalaka, the Upsharon, 3 years old? I had one, even though my father's not Hasidish. This is a thing. I love this lashon. He is stuck in that stomach like a jail. Never comes out. In other words, he's Einus. Einus, he just showed up now. Give him a haircut. But it seems like only in Chalamayid that he was born in Chalamayid. But what? Let's say he was born before Yantav and he pushed it off. No. Mazra Pinchas. This is a little interesting. His question here, which the Gemara shoots down right away. There's a concept. If you're mutter to shave on Chalamayid, you're mutter to shave when a person is in Avelus. And now he infers from that, and this is what the Gemara is going to shoot down first. And if it's also for you to shave on Chalamayid, it's also for you to shave when you are an Avel. So what about this baby? This baby, he can't shave during Chalamayid if he was born a day before Yantav. Oh, so he shouldn't be able to shave when he's Avel. That's his question. I brought a halacha I inferred a halacha and I brought it. That what? If somebody cannot shave during Chalamayid, he cannot shave when he's Avel. A baby, we just said, cannot shave during Chalamayid if he's born a day before Yantav. So Menmeleh, that baby shouldn't be able to shave or get a haircut when the baby's Avel. So let's say the mother of the baby never died during childbirth. During Avelos, if I want to give the baby a haircut, I shouldn't be allowed to. But I'm allowed to give a baby a haircut during Avelos. Turning to Daf Amud Beis, sponsored by Moshe. Horn and Woody Wyman as a schuz for Mordy Moskovitz. Don't even turn yet because I want to show you Taisvus. Sponsored in honor of Reb Eli. What do you ask? In all the Devos building Gashmius and Ruchnios. Look at Taisvus real quickly. The end of Taisvus says, B'Yishalmi Amru, Big Day Katanim, because this is neged to us. I don't know this halacha l'maisa, but a lot of people know about this halacha. If you have children, could you do laundry on Yontif? On Chol Moed. Mutar l'chapsim Moed says Taisvus based on Yerushalmi. The nikarim shengtanim, you see their very small clothing. Umuluchlachim, the dirty, filthy. Kimisha ein lo yelachal echad. That should be in the same category as a person that only has one set of clothing. So Gemara continues the question. The Amris Katan is bei plukta, and if you're going to say there's an afkamina and a cotton before Yontiv and after Yontiv, and if a kid was born before Yontiv, you can't give it a nice haircut on Yontiv on Chol Moed. Nimtzeisa nimtzes avelus negis b'katan. You see that there's avelus by cotton. He can't get a haircut if his mother died. We learned that a cotton, you rip his clothing when his mother or father died, so that other people to invoke pain for other people. Imagine a little kid saying Kaddish. Imagine he walks around with a rip. People start crying. The bitzar. There was just recently. Remember this young guy that was nifter. He was nifter. You're in somebody right at one of these buildings over in Revim, right across the what? Bloy, and his kid was 8 years old, and during Shiva they sent the kid to a chasana. One of the uncles made a wedding. Kid doesn't have avelos on the Shiva. Go, they get him out of the house. It was too much for him. Sent him away to chasana. He's not mechuyev in avelos. He said, of course he says Kaddish. Yeah, it tears you up when he says Kaddish. Omer Avashi, Mikatani ha'asurim. Who told you? So we just knocked down the whole. It's all from an inference. He's making a diuk. The whole diuk is no good. Mikatani ha'asurim dilma yeshmem asav yeshmem mutar. It's possible that not everybody is also. There's something called a katan that he'd be mutar to get a haircut when he's aval. He's just asur on Chol Moed. Okay, whatever. There was a guy called up the Reform rabbi, asked him, his father's about to die. He says, could I sit Shiva this week? Next week's not good for business and everything. I just sit Shiva now. So the Reform rabbi said, of course, why not? I mean, it's pashut. Okay, so he's very happy. 5 minutes later, the Reform rabbi gets a phone call. Hi, my son is sitting Shiva. Do I have to be Menachem Mendel him? Says the Gemara, Ameimar, V'iteimer Rav Shesha Bereider Ravidi, Masna Hacha, Omar Shmuel. Says Noam, what did she answer? Okay, now I'm going to get an email from Ploinus. Katar mutar legalche b'moed, loishna noila b'moed v'loishna noila mikara. Shmuel holds that you could give a kid a haircut on Chol Moed no matter when he was born, a month before Yontiv also. We also learned. So over here, the Gemara is using it in the opposite way. The same thing is inferring. If you say what you're saying that a katan, so he's bringing a raya now. Now the Gemara is bringing a raya to what he's saying. The opposite. Before we were asking it, using it as a question. Now because it's the opposite halacha, Shmuel says you are permitted to give a. So it seems from here like you, because if it would be also to give a kid a haircut on Chol Moed, and it comes out that there is a concept of avelos by a katan. The only reason why you cut the kid's clothing is just for other people, but not because of him. There's no raya. Okay. Avel, as we know, how do we know this? These are the halachas of avelos right here. Moed Katan. If somebody's nifter right before Yontif, his family doesn't act ba'avelos during Yontif. Why? Shenemar v'somachta b'chagecha. There's a chiyuv for simcha on Yontif. I avelos de mikaro. Now, if he was a avel beforehand, the person was nifter before Yontif, osi asay the rabbi. This mitzvah asay of a samach b'chagecha that the whole Klal Yisrael has, v'dachi asay the yachid. He has an asay. Rashi brings a pasuk. What's the pasuk? Evel yachid asilach. it says asi lach, it's to you. Taisa says, he doesn't bring the pasuk, he says it's the deraisa, but we learned on Daf Yud Aleph that it's only the Rabbanon. He says no, what we learned on Daf Yud Aleph, that Avelus is the Rabbanon, is the melacha, you performing melacha on Avelus while you're up, that is the Rabbanon. But the chiyuv, the setshiva, all that is the Eiraisa. Vi Avelus dahashtahu, Liyosi asay the Yachid, V'dachi asay the Rabbim. If it's an Avelos that just happened now, so the asay of the Yachid doesn't push off the asay of the Rabbim. Menuda. Now, by the way, from here, for another daf and a half, I don't know why I did this. It took a very long time. I made a chart. Nobody's going to use these charts because it's way, way too long. But just to give you, if you want to go by colors, it's color coordinated chart. These are the actions. There's 14 actions here. This is a aval. As you can see, everything is red. And the Gemara is going to discuss in the next daf and a half, what about somebody that's excommunicated, he's benidui, and what about a mitzayra? Do these halachas, for instance, getting a haircut is asur, putting on tefillin, saying shalom, Talmud Torah, washing clothing, melacha, rechitza, nilas sandal, tashmish, shiluch karbanos, sending karbanos, atifas haroish. The last three are things that you're mechuyev to do, not that you're not allowed to do. Chayev, you chayev to cover your head, kriya, ripping, and flipping the bed, turning over the bed, not sleeping on a bed. The only thing is, the top one is, there is no avelos, green, it's mutter. You don't do any avelos on Moed. So we're going to discuss, what about a mitzayra, a menuda? Let's say a mitzayra. Is he allowed to learn Torah? Yes, that's basically the only thing that he's different than an avel. So too a menuda. A menuda, one other thing is mutter, and that is working. If a guy's benidui, excommunicated, he's allowed to go to work. The rest are all sfekas. I call him safek, it's machlokes. Basically, I got this lashon from the art scroll. He has a chart, look at it. The only thing I really changed from the art scroll is I just made it into colors. I thought it'd be a little easier to read. Red and green. Green is mutter. Fine. Menuda. So now we're going to go one after another. What about a guy that's a nidui? Does he have to be like a menuda? Could he wash his clothing? Could he shave? Could all that stuff on Yantiv? What do we come out with? Safek. Mitzayra, we're going to come out with is he's worse than Aval Mitzayra. He cannot shave and he cannot wash his clothes. Omer Rav Yosef, somebody just turned on the air conditioner. Shkoyach, what's pshat? No, I feel the cold. The windows are open. Omer Rav Yosef, Toshma, Donadinin Fashidin Makis Vidinim Mamanis, on Chalamayed, you could capital punishment, Makis, giving a beating. Maminas. And if a guy doesn't listen, you put him into chayrim, you give him a nidui. As says the Gemara, you see that if somebody's already in a nidui, he remains in a nidui. Why? If once Yantiv comes in, his nidui dissipates, goes away. What we're going to start, do a brand new nidui? If he's already in a menuda, it doesn't remain. So certainly, if he's not in a menuda, we're not going to make him a menuda. What do you think? It doesn't mean you're putting him to chayrim. You're discussing this human being. Should I put him in chayrim or not put him in chayrim? Whatever we pass him, we'll take care of it after Yantiv. And I'll prove it to you. It says that you're allowed to do capital punishment. What, you're going to kill somebody? Rabbi, say, think for a second. Why shouldn't you kill somebody on Yantiv? Because it's very sad. It's bad. For who? For the guy dying, right? No. For the guy's family? No. For the guy killing him. You know why it's very bad? Because he's hungry. He goes hungry. It's interesting. Let's get inside. He's not going to have simcha. Who? The dayan. The sign Reb Eli Sanhedrin. They have to fast the day that they kill the guy. So what's the problem? Not that we're getting rid of somebody, he's a bad guy. We have to get rid of him. The problem is that the dayan can't have pizza today. That's a terrible thing. I'm not making fun. I'm saying that it sounds funny, but that's what we're talking about. He has a chiyuv. You're removing the simcha of the dayan. We have to put him in a fast. Elamai. we're not going to kill the guy, because if we kill the guy, he can't eat pizza. So what it means is we're going to discuss the guy and decide, you're chayiv misa, you know when? We'll give you a little break. Come back after Yantiv, we're going to chop your head off. But there's no such thing in Klal Yisrael. Judaism doesn't have death row. You don't have a guy waiting for months and months and months waiting to die. When they decide he's dead, they take him right away, on the spot. Boom, dead. I think the Arabs do it today. Ayin Sham. Asu mitzavru ma'ayne bedinei. Says Gemara, no. Asu mitzavru ma'ayne bedinei. What happens is they look into this. They eat, drink, maybe not so much wine. The Rishonim discuss can't drink wine. Because they can't pass and drink. Then they come at night. So because they're not fasting at all, the last moment before the day's over, chop chop, they kill him, and Benmeleh they have a samach b'chagecha. Amar Abai Toshma. So Benmeleh you keep him dying from me that what? You could do nidui on Yantiv. You could also give capital punishment on Yantiv. There's no raya. They said that somebody that's a nidui is allowed to get a haircut. So you see mefurish that there's no nidui. It says minuda, a guy that's a minuda can get a haircut. So there's no nidui during the Yantiv. It's a specific case that they let this guy off the hook. We should stop here. That what? There is a case when a guy, why is he nidui? Because Chacham said the Bezin Paskin owed this guy $1 million. He didn't want to pay. But now he went and he paid off his chayiv. So he pays off his chayiv, he's no more menuda. Now he has to take a haircut. He needs it. So for him we allowed it. Not that we made a blanket statement, all guys in nidui could take haircuts. Have a wonderful day.